Thanks for coming for this talk, paper presentation. This talk should be very familiar to you. So here, regarding the paper presentation, Dale Carnegie said, tell the audience what you are going to say it, then tell them what you have said it. 3 levels. You should be clear about what you are going to say, and then how you are going to say it. And finally, whatever you wanted, whatever you said it, what is important, what is that the audience taking home. So that is very important for you. So tell them what you have said means what they should take it home. Now here, the matrix, you may be familiar with the matrix. Matrix means the outline, something like that. If you do the concrete building, the pillars are supposed to be the matrix. On that, everything is put together. In my talk on dark matter, I said the dark matter is like a matrix on which the other planets and other things are hanging around. So matrix is a kind of a designed outline, a framework based on which you are building up or building on. Then I thought that I could give the analogy of a tree. So in the tree, you say you have the root, trunk, branches, leaves, sometimes flowers, and the fruits. The roots are not visible normally, but they are very important. So I connect it or compare it to subconscious. Subconscious is accumulation or accumulation of all your experiences, even if you are not aware of it. For example, you are going somewhere to visit somebody. You may be concentrating on the route or GPS, or you may be listening to music, but on the way you see a lot of shops or advertisements or some incidents which you don't pay attention to. But the subconscious takes it inside, stores them like a post office box where every district letters are put together. So it at night puts various things are there. If you are talking about reading about a criminal story, it goes under the criminal thing. Or if you are talking about dancing, that goes under music or anything. So at some point when you want it, it is ready to give you. It is like a huge library. Actually, it contains more than any big library things. You can get it. For example, if I am asking you, can you tell me 10 ghost stories? I think most of you will be able to tell me that. Where do you get it? It is there inside. Maybe your grandma or grandpa might have told you, or your childhood you might have read. It is there. And that is what comes during at night as a dream. Its own combination and permutations are coming there. So the subconscious has got lot of storage, lot of things there. So go first there. You will have all your past memories, experiences, everything is there. Next, the trunk is the main theme of the paper. What is it, the main theme you want to tell the people? It should run through, all through your paper with understanding. If someone is distracted or someone wants to check the cell phone, send a message, they should not lose track of it. So this is coming periodically. That is the main theme, whether you are writing or you are talking. The branches are sub-themes. I have got 3 different levels or 4 different levels, and the leaves and flowers are actually decorations. Not that they are not important, they add to the color of that. You want to insert graphs, pie diagram, video, or images, visual aids, whatever. Or sometimes you may even read more. I'll come to that. Sometimes you suddenly feel there is a gap and you have to do that. The fruits are the outcome. What is the take home point for the people? Whatever you have said, it's fine. When they leave your talk, what is it that is going to be most or what is going to be predominant in their mind. So first of all, you need dispositions, what you call mood. Sometimes, the people who are writing or composing things, they want a mood. Or the writers, they want a scenery or go to some natural hilly places to write. That is create an atmosphere, a milieu, we call it. And that you should know what is your capacity. What is your capacity? And what is your requirement? When I was appointed regent here, the rector for Kashmir Raj wrote him coming from Pune, could you take care of the college choir? I wrote to him, I don't want to destroy any singing in the campus. I know my capacity. I listen to music all the time. If you come to my room, I like instrumental music, but I am not good at singing. So if I going to try, people may appreciate out of respect, but they might enjoy. So you know your capacity, and at the same time, what is required? What is your expertise? And then, who is your audience? Whatever is your talk, you may be number one in the world, but you are going to tell the audience. You very rarely you are getting audience at your level or above your level. So the audience see your topic from the audience perspective. What is it that they need? And what are your resources? You may not have a library at your disposal. You may not have books at your disposal. You may not be all the time depending on Google or Wikipedia. That's why your subconscious will come to help you. And it is better as much as possible to script your paper, put it in writing, either in a skeleton form or in a full form. Normally, I do most of my talks. I write this, prepare in a way, later I'll make it a paper where I can make it. Today I finished all my talks on Ignatian, the pedagogy of education. It comes to about 160 pages. It has gone for someone to go through and correct it. This is during this lockdown, I was able to do all my talks. I can put in writing. They are available there. And then the ideas that the audience can comprehend and they remember. See, if I am talking like religion and science, religion, science, I know a little more, but I cannot use my physics jargon. I cannot bring physics equations because I will lose you. And the same way, so anything that what is the audience expectation and what is it they can comprehend. Not that all you should put there, what is needed. What is it that their plate can contain, not what you can pour it out. Accordingly, you design your visual aids to make it interesting or attractive. And then make sure that it is more effective. Remember that presentation is more a hearing than not reading. It's more visual, not reading. It is visual cum audio, and then where you are going to say what you want to say, that is more important. Now, what are the preliminary things you have to go through? I give more importance to the preliminary thing than what actually happens, and little bit what is going to happen later. So what is the purpose of the paper? What for is the paper? What is it about? Why you should be invited to speak. Just before the lockdown, I was invited for the Alliance Sisters in Fatima College. Please don't tell any sister if you know in the congregation. They said the whole India, the educationists are coming there, and I have to talk about the recent trends in education. And I had only 5 days to prepare. Then I asked the sister, why you are asking me, sister, at this point? The sister should have said, you are simply the greatest in India, or you are the first person. I could think of very innocently said, we tried everywhere, nobody came. So Why you? So please don't tell them. And second is the topic should be clear for yourself. It is not clear for yourself, it is not going to be clear for the audience. If it's not clear, make it clear to the things according to the purpose. Sometimes I tell them, I cannot talk like this, can I modify it? They say, okay. And also, what are the core ideas? That will be the main sections in the paper. Whether in the talk, here I see a parallel between the talk and the paper, both the same for me. Only thing, they are not reading your paper, they are hearing your paper. So you should know where you are going to present it. Is it institution or social action or pastoral? I have been to all the places, but my treatment is different from place to place. A couple of times I was invited to address the Bishops' Conference of Tamil Nadu. My whole outlook is different when I go there, because I cannot go into deep statistics and all. They are not going to enjoy that. I got to give examples for them. Then they will. So it depends on who your people, and if your audience are religious, okay, you know what it is. What is common between us? And if it's academics, you have full force to go there. Administrators, depending on your experience, you can tell them what it is. And then what is your perspective of the paper, not what somebody is going to say. In the talk, at the end, people are going to ask you clarifications and questions. You cannot say somebody has said it. So you make it your own, whether it is sociological, psychological, physics, chemistry, whatever it is. Digest in your system and give to the system that is sitting in front of you. Also, make sure you should know what are your sources. It can be books, it can be articles you are referred. I constantly refer to books. Even this last 2 months, though the papers have been written, I was constantly revising, constantly in between, every now and then I was bringing coronavirus and other things, because the book, I'm dedicating it to the people who died of corona, who helped them. So you have to constantly work on that. And then this may not make sense, but I let you know, these are various styles of writing research papers. This normally we follow MLA, this Modern Language Association. There is a book is there. How do you write the the reference? For example, Roman New Times font 12 double space or 1.5 space is what is there. Normally in any journal they give at the back how to write, but you follow. Or there is another one, Chicago, this also is followed very much. This is in their respective universities. APA is another system where mostly Americans follow that. So you follow one. I follow normally MLA, because that's what I was trained in, and that is mostly acceptable to people into that. Now, after all these preliminaries, now you get ready to set. Still you are not in the paper yet. So what is your analysis? You have read, you have thought about it, you have checked with your subconscious, you have your materials. So after churning them together, what is your analysis? You need not agree with anyone. You are the master. People may agree with you, people may not agree with you. That is not the thing. This is what I think. Maybe you may think later, you may change your things. That is a different thing. Because you have to substantiate with some key authors and theories, but you should be able to agree with what is written there. And you should have your own methodology to analyze it. Analysis we are doing all the time. How do you assess a person? Most of you would have written 4 sheets. It is analysis of the person. Why they are giving to 4 people? Because 4 different views will be there. If everybody is going to write, you can reduce 4 sheets into 1 sheet. So this is different people perceive a different, and the actual paper then will have introduction. This is very important. What is the idea? Normally, if you read any research paper, after the title, there is one thing called abstract. The abstract is the one who gives the summary of the paper. So don't read the paper before reading the abstract, because if you read the abstract, you know whether you should further read or not, otherwise you'll be wasting your time. So that is the idea. And the review of the literature, any paper you read, first they'll say, these are the things have been done. Now I am going to do this, and why I am doing this. These are my findings, this is my analysis, therefore this is my conclusions. Don't jump the line. Before you collect the data, before you collect materials, don't come to a conclusion. You may have an idea. I give you one example. Somebody was doing research and he was supposed to go for data collection. The thing was, can you predict the behavior of blood relations based on your blood relations? Can you predict? This family will behave like this, or this village will behave like this, or Malayalis will behave like this, or Muslims will behave like this. This is coming to blood relations. And the guide told the student, research scholar, put open-ended questions. And the student said, I know very well. He said, the behavior of the blood relations can be predicted. So he gave it to the doctoral committee. He came and did the data collection, went and analyzed it. The result was just the opposite. When he went back, committee said, we won't accept it. So what happened later, that is different story, but don't jump to conclusion. Even as you are writing the paper, though you have an idea to say, very often it varies. It varies, you come to different things. So the one thing you have an idea, another thing it grows out of it. Sometimes it may be slightly different, or it may be totally different, or it may confirm what you wanted to say. So how to deal with that, we'll come to that. And then what is important is the PowerPoint presentation is very important, with visuals, diagrams, video clips. I think you are familiar with that. I'm not going to go into that. Practice your presentation and build your confidence. At least in the beginning, when you are going there. Like I never allowed my doctoral students to go for their viva unless they are making a presentation. All of us will be sitting, all my students will be there. The presentation, we ask questions, and invariably my doctoral students said the rehearsal was tougher than the actual viva. We prepare them for any eventuality. So till you have your confidence, and then groom yourself means be ready when you feel confident, when you got it. Even this one, when the principal said he was interested, when he saw it, he said, why don't you give to the faculty members? And the minister said, shall I fix it? I said, let me give the talk first to the Jesuit community, get the reaction, then I might modify, because going to faculty is a different level. So the rehearsal would be different area where you are going to do that. Now, I'll be taking one by one whatever I have said. The concept is very important. The presentation of paper is presentation of yourself with your conviction, with your analysis, with your conclusions. And what you are going to say is you are translating for your mind to the audience. You are not modifying according to the audience, because you are not in a political situation where according to the political head you have to speak. You have the freedom to speak. Also, what is very important, do you have logical thinking? Whatever be your conclusion, people would say, are you able to take the people through? And then people will enjoy that. And what is important, all the time make sure that the audience is with you, they follow you. Therefore, the concept is decide what type of paper you want, whether it is a research or it's a report, or a lecture, or project, or entertainment, or a sermon, whatever it is. So the clarity is there, and you have to put there, for example, your personal research, your experience, preferably what you have in common with the audience, what you have in this thing, and what will be very interesting to that. Father Donatus Jairaj, once he came to when I was studying there, he spent a couple of months in California. When he came to Boston, I was studying. At that time, Freddie, the superior, he was there for I think for a year or one semester he was there. I made arrangement for his studies. So one day we were talking, Freddie said, Father, எதுக்கு for California போனீங்க? Donatus sometimes will be very jovial. அதுவா சாமி, இந்த ரெட்ரீட்டில் சிஸ்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் தூங்கி வலியுதுங்க சாமி, கலிஃபோர்னியா கடற்கரையில் நடந்து கொண்டு இருக்கும்போது நான் நிமிர்ந்து பார்க்குறேன். So these are all what exactly we are doing when you are giving the talk, anything personal, anything that you have something in experience common, so that people feel that some bonding is there between you and them. And then why should people attend your presentation? People should have why. They might heard about you. If they not heard about you, at least what you are having, the topic should be interesting. And anything that is called the unique selling proposition. What is it that is unique in your way of presenting? Sometimes people say, no, the stories you say are important, are very interesting, or the way you put it is very interesting, or the statistics you give are interesting. For example, if you invite Professor Victor Lee Sandhuan, any number of statistics, tons of statistics he will give, and you will be awestruck. How does he know all these things? So each one has got a way of doing it and make use of it. And then this is very important, the rumination. This is very Jesuit in nature. What does Ignatius say when you go to bed? He says, think when you are going to get up, what you are going to do. That is the rumination. Think within yourself. The topic may be a given topic or a chosen topic. Most of the time it is given topic. It can be chosen. The first two talks was chosen by me. This one was given to me. So it may be both. And you should know the audience and their expectation. In this talk, the expectation is mostly scholastics who are doing either PG or research, and others who would be presenting papers. So I know that you have experience, you want to get whether you can learn more. So that is your expectation of that. And the level of audience, knowledge and expertise, I know that because I am with you. And then what is the context of your paper? Relevance to the times. The same paper you cannot give everywhere. You have to modify every time. And how much time is available to the papers? Sometimes you invite somebody. Once we invited a fellow for 30 minutes talk. He had 83 slides. And when he was in the 9th slide, 25th minute was over. And then, so I intervened. I said, you will be invited 3 more times to complete this talk. So you can go on. And some people have the thing, they skip it. Then you lose track of it. So it is you have to play with that. So according to the time available, the duration of the talk, and then what is the message you are going to say in 1 or 2 sentences. Maybe at the end, the beginning, and as I said, what is your personal connection? What is your expertise in this topic? And can you give examples from your experience and from other sources? And the literature survey is very important. Literature could be Wikipedia or Google or video, YouTube, anything could be there, but that is very important. And sieve through your memory and experience, once again going back to your subconscious. Go through, what do I notice? So whenever somebody asks me to write a paper or talk, I'll ask question, who are the audience? How many would be there? where is it going to be, how long you want, why you want me, what do you expect me. I ask 5-6 questions and then I leave it. When I go for a walk, I simply think about it, and then it goes on for 3-4 days, and one fine day I feel that I am ready. So I straight sit in the computer, and in about an hour I finish it. Then I do decoration. I'll come to that later. So it's a kind of preparing a dish, what to be presented to the people. Now, whatever you have, mulling it over. The ruminating is to think about it. This is going back and forth. So what we do here is, this is again activate your antenna of the subconscious. I want to write something about it. Today somebody asked me, one of my grand niece is asking for a paper. It's a medical student. What is the evolution of sexuality in the Middle Ages from the Catholic Church? I said, you have to clarify what they taught in the class and what is the expectation. Otherwise, there are too many things are there. First of all, whether it is sexuality within marriage or in general, so many things are there. So you should make it very clear. Then I said, rack your subconscious again. And then have a mental picture of the audience. I'm coming back and forth about the audience is very important because you are giving the talk to the audience. The audience is very important. If I am going to, when I give the talk to the faculty members, my treatment will be different. Same slides will be there. My examples will be different. And because it depends on their makeup and their expectation, and the paper is not read but heard in their language, in their context. So you are coming down, seeing the reality from their perspective. So think it over, sleep it over, literally sleep it over. Very often, that in the novitiate you are told when the bell goes, you should jump off the bed as though the bed is on fire. And today they find out that is the reason why many Jesuits are dying of heart attack early morning, because they're jumping off. You are supposed to get up, sit down, relax. I do that. I sit first thing is I put on my t-shirt and then I sit down and lot of things comes to me. I sit down and write whatever I'm working. Few ideas are coming. I just note it down. A piece of paper. Later I will work. And constantly I'm doing that. And reflect as and when time comes. This is I'm talking, not somebody asked prepare the paper tomorrow. This one, when time is there, think it over, jot down the points from your thinking, or when you are working on a topic, the newspaper reports will catch your attention, or your periodicals will catch your attention, or your whatever you hear a table or a thing. So that all these things, that is why you open your antenna, it will be taking media reports, everything, and then come up with a broad-based outline. This is what I want. And then read up materials related to materials or books, articles, and do that to broaden that one. And if you want to discuss with the experts and thinking aloud with someone talking to, all the time I do it. Sometimes, when I write on spiritual things, I check with Arul Sivan. When he writes something, he checks with me. So we check it all the time back and forth. Sometimes recently the Bail, he was a former provincial when I was provincial. Now he's the tertiary instructor. He sent something that, so all the time we check back and forth, and it is good to have experts who could help you for that. Now begins the active preparation. This is after doing all these things. As you know, I have spent a lot of time. That is more important. You are preparing for meditation is more important than the meditation itself. So this is what you do, that you have a broad outline. If it is thesis, chapter, section, parts, or if it is the PowerPoint, what is the context, what is the audience, how much time you have, what is the need of the hour, what is prominent, and what is your expertise. Then you got to put in lot of things. Statistics, for example. Statistics, I'm not talking about big statistics. You will see one statistics that I'll give when the book reading, how much the book reading is increasing. It has been so far, people have been watching only the TV. Now the attention is shifting because your eyes are getting spoiled. So now they are shifting back and forth. And what others have said, this is you come to literature review and what you want to say. Same question, Jesus asking the disciples, what do others say? What do you say? What do others say? What do I say? Because what you say is your own, your originality. You need not agree with anyone. You may be a Nobel laureate. But if you are logically thinking, if a logic says so, say it so. Let people disagree. Maybe you can rethink, you may change. That is a different one. But you want to have your originality. But then how do you substantiate what you say? So this is sometimes people have different outlook, different way of presenting things. But if you are going to say substantiate, don't get into argument. This is what I say it. You may have different view. Keep to that. Finally, what is the take home point? At the end, they need not take tons of points. 1 or 2 points is enough. And then what are the methods you are going to do? Normally they say thesis, antithesis, synthesis. This is what you have heard. This also you have heard, but I am here. So why I am here, I will tell you. The talk may be unidirectional. Right from the beginning, it is going one direction. You are going on, it is like a Russian doll, no? The big doll, you open it, a small doll will be there, open it, another small doll will be there, open it, till a small little thing will be there. So unidirectional, same idea, you keep on going deep and deep. This you can use it for science, but general audience, they may get lost. Like runner, if you see the runner sentence, he'll be going. Sometimes one sentence will be running to 1.5 pages. Once he was giving us a talk, we said, for the runner, you are going on writing long sentences. You see, yesterday somebody told me my one sentence was 157 centimeter long. But I understand runner very easily. I enjoy reading because he starts with one thing, he will say there are 2 things here, then he will going that, and there are 3 things that he will go there, then he will come back here. So if you keep track of it, you will enjoy that. But today we have small sentences that we are doing that. And then you may have multidirectional. These are the views according to A, this is the view according to B, this is the view according to C, but this is the trend today. This is what the different philosophical schools are saying, but my synthesis is this. So my synthesis and my summary, both are possible. You take one direction, keep on going, delving deep into a point, or various sections will be coming, and finally what you are going to say, ultimately, what do I say? And then the conclusion is something with supporting evidences. Don't simply say, this is what. And it is, I am very fond of saying this experiment, how we are in experiment, we conduct experiments, we put the data and then we analyze it. Here is a scientist who is doing research on frog. So he draw a line on the table, put the frog and says jump. So the frog jumped, he measured 57 centimeters. Okay, so experiment 1, frog with 2 legs, 57. Then he cut one leg, put it there on the table, he said jump. Then it jumped, 37 centimeters. So experiment 2, one leg less, 37 centimeters. Then he cut one more leg and put it on the table. He said jump, it was not jumping. He shouted, it was not jumping. Banged the table, it was not jumping. So put experiment 3 with both the legs. Distance jumped 0. So hereby it is proved when the frog loses both the legs, it becomes deaf. So this is how you have your evidences, but it should be logical, where people should bear. It's supporting evidence. And when possible conclusions are there, various conclusions, your preference, your conviction. So that is what people will appreciate there. But you are open to the other schools of thought also. Don't blame others, they are wrong. Only mine is. There are various things. I hold on to this for these reasons and hope you follow that. And now you are ready to take off and you are giving bones and flesh to the outline. The outline is there and you start writing and think as you write. So it comes little by practice. Sometimes I have an idea of what I am doing the thing. As I am writing, I have an idea of what it is coming. It branches off. But ultimately it will come back. And for that, keep in touch with your inner current of thoughts. Again, your subconscious, your feeling that has got great thing. Never lose track of yourself. So this is very important. But sometimes you are going to get gaps. You get stuck. Just leave it. Go again. I tell my students in the physics exams, I tell them, never strike anything in the exam answer paper. If you are wrong, don't strike it. Only then the teacher will look at that. If you think you got stuck, leave it as it is. Then you remember somewhere afterwards some other line, simply write, it can be shown, then start from there. You go on. No teacher will find out because we are not reading like this, we are reading like this. So there is only when something attracts the attention, people go there. So keep in touch with your inner current. That is very much. As I said, you will see that you have a lot of things to have. If some gaps are there, don't worry, continue the things. And then as you write, what are the possible questions? Because accordingly you got to present it. Don't say something, then somebody is going to jump on you. No, that's not what I meant. So foresee the questions. First get the draft, then go after a visit. Leave a couple of days so that your subconscious is going to take over. If there are gaps here, and the subconscious will be going and checking, oh, there is a gap here, how do I put it here? There is another gap here, how do I put it there? So today, just before lunch, I was about to finish one thing about the teacher, whether the teacher should cater to the brilliant student or to the slow learner. I know I am going to write both, but let me check. So I went and then I got an article, 15th century, where the Jesuit teacher was told, cater only to the brilliant students, don't waste your time on slow learners. But then one Jesuit opposed it. This is Ignatius started for the poor people. Where are we going? This is when 1570s. And then we realized that in 1960 option for the poor. So it is going back and forth. So after a visit, you break, you revisit it, you might revise it. So the subconscious comes all the way into that gap. It is trying to find, it will tell you where to find. Once you have more or less built it, then you are going to decorate the paper, adorn the paper. So you have to put incidents, you have to put incidents as much as possible, personal, from books you have read, from history, from biography, anything you want to do that. And sometimes persons and their quotes. Don't simply John F. Kennedy said it. What did he say? Don't say Martin Luther King. In the high school we were taught in Tamil, when you are writing, you have to quote something. you don't remember anything. As the Chinese proverb says, you write something what you say. And then teacher will say, okay, the boy knows something about that. Don't do that. But for example, I am very fond of Paulo Coelho, then I can quote everything. And you simply go to, since I know I am familiar with Paulo Coelho, I can simply go to Google, Paulo Coelho on the river of Babylon quotes. There will be 50 quotes. So I know which one to take it for my need. Or Alchemist, you got 130 quotes are there. So you have read it long ago. I don't need the book anymore. But you can get it from there and simply go and type. The other day I was typing, what is the letter of Abraham Lincoln that he wrote to the teacher of his son? Very nice. Tell him that for every rascal there is a friend. So something like that he writes it. Take him gently, lead him. Politics is not the only thing. Money is not the only thing. So I have read somewhere, but you go to Google and say Abraham Lincoln's letter to the teacher, the whole thing will come. Take what you want. So you have all the materials. And then the statistics, whether it is a research basis or analysis. And then now go back. You felt where there is gap and fill the blanks. So it is going back and forth. Don't get stuck. I got stuck. I don't know what to do. Don't get frustrated. Continue. You will come back. And then leave it for a few days. Again, the subconscious will be coming. Okay, there is a gap is narrowing, but he is looking for a story. He is looking for an incident, and you can find it. Then start editing. After you give a break, this is very Ignatian, as though it is someone else's work. But Ignatius says, when you have a problem, think of it as though it is somebody's problem. And how do you counsel him? Apply that yourself. This is what exactly I am applying here. When I write, after 2-3 days, I forget that I have written it. As though one of my students have written, when student writes, you are all ready to find fault. This comma should be there, this verb should be changed. So I do that mercilessly, I will do that one. Then I fill it with some anecdotes, stories, all those things are going to be there. Then coming to the immediate preparation, get the critical opinion of someone. Sometimes I send it to people to check. I have a couple of people constantly, they'll be very critical in my thing, and they will suggest, and I go on that. And then rehearsal. Initially, with a friend you can do, and then you should know how and when to reach the venue. You should know how you are coming. I find out all the people when somebody says the meeting is 10 o'clock, how do I reach your place? What is the train that is convenient? And then what are the type of facilities you have? Microphones, Wi-Fi. Like sometimes when I take my computer, it is very difficult to find adapter for that because Mac Airbook, it's not that easy. So I send the file earlier to the people, you upload it. But still I take my computer, still I take a pen drive with me. Because the computer is stolen, what you do? Pen drive is there. If pen drive is stolen, I always send it to my email earlier before I go. So all these things might fail, but make sure there is Wi-Fi connection, PowerPoint, smartboard, podium and all, and whether someone is there to assist you to get the gadgets ready and working. People should not come, then check the microphone, your Wi-Fi system and all those things. Arrive early to check the working of gadgets. Don't rush in there and do. Sometimes once it happened, somebody rushed in, started the talk. After 10 minutes, I went and said, excuse me, what is the audience you are looking for? He said, sorry, that is not here, that is the next floor. Because he just came in because he saw crowd sitting there, walked in there. So you have to make sure there. And the PowerPoint plays. This major thing is PowerPoint. How do you explain PowerPoint? And you need to have, don't fill your slides with too many things, too many figures. Sometimes the science students have the tendency, they have to give all their research findings. People know you have done research and they won't follow anything. They just to say this is what I, just to give one example, Not too many slides, perhaps one slide a minute normally. And don't crowd it with matter, pictures and photos because this will distract people. And also the first slide is what is the target of the presentation? That I put it what Carnegie says. Now for the book reading, I will have another quotation. This is what I am working at. So then you go to video, bar diagram, bullet point quotations. The final slide should have the summary or the conclusion. And what is the fruit of the talk? How do you correlate with the topic? Don't make it hanging there. Finally, they say, you said a lot of things. For what is the take-home point? You might not have anything. So coming to the actual presentation, as you see, this is last about one slide in actual presentation. I have spent about 40 minutes, but this I'll take only 3 minutes for that because this is only putting things together. It is called, putting the plum, icing the cake, they call it. When you make the cake, put the icing or put the plum on the cake. This is what finally you come there. Full length paper is preferred. If it is not, you have PowerPoint presentation. It should not be too plain, but not too much decorated. It should not be cluttered with photos, graphs, formula, everything in its proportion. Keep the expectation, need, capacity, audience in mind. Not only when you prepare, when you are giving the talk also. Have the confidence because you are the expert. So whether you feel confident or not, it will reach the audience very easily. The way you talk, the way you see, be confident. And if there is no formal introduction, you have to introduce yourself. People should know, at least say the name, institution, what is your expertise. That way people should know what you are capable of. And then establish the relationship with the audience. No, I was here last year, or I was here 15 years ago, or I studied at this institution, or my cousin studied here, or my uncle was a professor here. Or people will say, okay, somebody known to us. Or I was here for convocation, or I here a college day. So know them. I visited the institution. Why you accepted the invitation? Here you can put a little bit of lies because you are the best audience. But you tell them why you accepted. Speak clearly. Check for audibility. Normally I check in a big thing. After 2 minutes, do you hear me? Because I have the tendency my voice will go down. So I know the problem, so I periodically check. Standing is preferred. Some people sit. Sitting doesn't convey that much. Eye contact with the people is important all the time. Don't talk over the head. They keep them under the radar of your observations. Like during my sermon, if I see somebody wiggling there in the crowd, then I stop. That means I am not reaching the people. So keep the audience. If people are not following you, either you go fast or you simply cut down your explanation and go at that. And then be practical. Don't go on philosophical or theoretical unless you are talking to philosophers. And then first 1 or 2 slides should be introduce the subject, then give a bird's eye view of the presentation, get the audience prepared for the talk. This is what I am going to do. And be prepared for so that they know this is going to come. Because each one has a particular way of expectation. So whether I am going to get it or not, if you say that, okay, I will get it. And when you are changing from one idea to another, smooth transition. People should not know that you are going from one to the other. It is smooth. At the end, give the major conclusion. What are you going to do in the future, if any? And keep to the timing, start and the ending there. Sometimes be prepared for the shortening of the time allotted. When you go for conferences, very often it happens. They will tell you got 45 minutes. When you go there, sorry sir, the previous speaker took a long time. Can you finish in 30 minutes? You have to be prepared for that. And also, always good to have a few minutes for clarifications. Answering the question is an art. Question may be known and unknown. So all the time I prepare my doctoral students, when after the presentation, people are going to ask you questions. There are two types of questions. Somebody asks question, it is in your area, but you don't know the answer. So what is a very good question? I take it for my future research. Then that fellow will be satisfied. Somebody asks the question where you have no idea about it. This is beyond the scope of my research. End of it. So that is not the way I am saying, but you can have smart, but you have unknown question, known question. If you absolutely don't know, that is not my area. You can say that. So there I end. You have another 10-12 minutes to ask questions. You are most welcome. It helps, but very often what happens is it's so fast, people are still there. They are not able to come back. If it is for example, it depends where you are. For example, you are talking about the relief funding. So you want to tell the people what you are presenting to the funding agency. Right? Okay. They'll watch. It has its place, but when a talk like literature, if you are going there, if it is a movie corresponding to that, it helps. It helps. So that's why I put a video and other things. It should not be too long. The second one is easy to answer. It comes by itself. Actually, I don't prepare. Say that this other has to be said. It comes on its own. Even when I write, people say a lot of anecdotes. It comes. Maybe I developed it over the years. The first question is whenever you are coming to that, like I said, this is what you do before, this is what preliminary, this is what you are doing. So do that one. At the end, you give importance to your subconscious, have some reading materials, have some broad-based outline, skeleton, and then decorate it with anecdote. So this is what. So the analogy is like a tree. Either you have a tree where the subconscious, the main theme, the sub-theme, the decorations, and the take-home point. Or if you want to have a skeleton and then put flesh, put some, you can either way which you can do that one. So it is kind of building up the things. Eventually, the skeleton is something, then you go on decorating it. Finally say, this is the point. And tell them that people will take it. I will take the very important points. Other things I will go over, but I will not. Because if I skip, you are going to say you have skipped something. But I will not spend more time on explaining, giving examples and all. So I can slide through. See what is important. This one by practice it comes, where you keep it. See, for example, I wanted to have about 45 minutes for the first, about 30 minutes for the second. More or less I could. Since I know how to present the things, I always have 10-15 minutes for questions. It might go, but there's nothing wrong in that. But very often try to spend time. So if you are asked to give a talk 45 minutes, prepare for 35 minutes. Because setting the microphone, and that day that video will not be working. That PowerPoint will not be working. And so you are going to spend time. If there is extra time, you can always ask questions or you can leave it so that the next speaker can come and relax. People can go and take someone. I'm talking about in a conference, things like that. So you don't miss major things. Or if it is too drastic time, you can see 1 or 2 slides, you can skip. But say, this is the summary of it. Given the time, I am going fast. They will understand. So you can even skip the slide, but you cannot arbitrarily skip it. See that continuity is there.